Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and it's the big one. It's Manchester United against Liverpool. What a huge game we've got for you this afternoon. And of course, Manchester United, it wouldn't be Manchester United if we didn't have a little bit of controversy, I suppose, around the starting lineup for Manchester United. Yeah, certainly we have got, look, I've got to be honest with you, Ahmad being dropped is a surprise. Yeah, I mean, look, what I don't want to do here is just sort of, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I've seen so many Man United sides in a big game or not in a big game where I've gone, what the hell is he doing? Like, what the hell is he doing? Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Louis van Gaal, you know, even Ten Hag. So, look. And then we've gone and won the game. I'll never forget, I was actually at this game. It was Chelsea Man United at Old Trafford. The team news came out and I was like, what the fuck is Mourinho doing? And we won 2-0. So you just don't know how this is going to work out. And I think that whilst there will be reservation, confusion, disagreement, I think frustration, anger, and accusation probably should stay until after the game. Because I completely agree with this statement that I wouldn't have picked Marcus Rashford. I'd have put Garnacho on the left. I'd have put Ahmad on the right. In the preview a couple of days ago, I said that last season, a few times, Marcus Rashford left his right back and it cost us a goal on as being overloaded or whatever. Trent Alexander-Arnold was one of the best attacking right backs in the world. So Marcus Rashford cannot not do that defensive work today. Why do I think Ten Hag has gone for Rashford over Ahmad? I think he might have done it based upon experience, based upon Rashford has done well against Liverpool in the past. He may have just done it out on pure preference that he prefers Rashford to Garnacho and Ahmad on the left. This may just be pure and utter nepotism of, I don't care how bad this player plays, I will still keep picking him and having faith with him. Because his favouritism or his backing, whatever you want to call it, is relentless. It is a relentless backing of Marcus Rashford. But there is no point in saying it's a disgrace, it's a joke, because we don't know what it leads to in the game. Maybe Marcus Rashford's going to play holding midfielder and run the game. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen. But I think until the game is done, there is no point in really saying other than, I disagree with it, I have my reservations about it. I'm not going to start ranting about it because there's just no point. And I'm very happy that De Ligt's playing and I want to see a higher line. And I'm very happy that we've got a focal point striker in Xerxes. They are positives for me. I don't think Rashford playing on the left is going to be as big a problem as it could be. At the very least, we'll end up carrying him again. At the very least, we'll be down to 10 men, or he'll just have an average game. I actually don't think it's that deep. I would like to have seen Ahmad and Garnacho. I would like to have seen that, and I've been saying that for a while, but I don't actually think it's going to be that deep. I think actually this game's going to get won and lost in the midfield. And Marcus Rashford doesn't play in the midfield. So if we really want to have a real conversation about concerns, I think we might just be focusing on the wrong thing too much. I agree. Ahmad should be on the right. Garnacho should be on the left. And Rashford should be on the bench. But let's see how that plays out. Because maybe Rashford scores a couple of goals and we win the game. In which case, Ten Hag gets it right. But I don't think Marcus Rashford starting over Ahmad is going to cost us the game or have a massive impact in that sense. It could win us the game. If we're being honest, if Rashford finally clicks, it could win us the game. So I think the game here is more about how much possession we have, how many problems we cause Liverpool, and how many problems they cause us. And absolutely, we haven't got a left back. And I just think that Ten Hag feels that they're stronger with Dalot and Rashford than they are with Dalot and Garnacho or Dalot and Ahmad down the left-hand side. I mean, it wouldn't be Ahmad down that side anyway. So, yeah, look, I think I'm trying to get... I think What I'm trying to say is, look, the best, I've got it right. So basically, if somebody said to me, Agate's fit and he's ready to play, but Rashford's going to play on the left, or Agate's fit and Casemiro, but Agate's not fit, so Casemiro plays, but Ahmad plays and Garnacho and Rashford's on the bench, I would rather have Agate in the team than Ahmad. Now, we haven't got that, but what I'm saying is, I don't think it's that big a deal. I think the midfield is where this game is won and lost. But that can't be an excuse either. I'm not, in no way am I trying to move you away from the frustration around Ahmad. I'm just saying that I don't think that who plays on the left or right is going to be the key factor to beating Liverpool. I think the key factor to this game is going to be who plays in the midfield and how we deal with Liverpool's possession game. And Casemiro still has his critics. Mainu at times has looked really tired. And Bruno still has his critics as well. And I think that, to me, is where this game will get won and lost. There'll be a lot of focus on Xerxes, but he will be dependent on service. There'll be a lot of focus on De Ligt. But if you're defending for 90% of the game, it doesn't matter whether you're bloody De Ligt or prime Sergio Ramos. You're not going to hold back the red tide of Liverpool if we're defending. You can't do it. As a centre-back, you can't deal with the midfield runners. You can't. I was watching some decent level football yesterday, and a lot of goals were being conceded in this tournament I was watching from midfield runners. As a centre-back, you can't deal with a midfield runner. You can deal with a striker. You can deal with a cross around your area, but you can't deal with cutbacks to midfield runners that aren't your runners. So I think this is about the midfield. I think this is about possession, and I think that's where this game is won and lost. Somebody in the chat says, come on, Mark, what is your thoughts on the Ahmad situation? Look, Ten Hag last week made a lot of mistakes before the ball had been kicked. And I said, we'll have to judge it at the end of the game, but I don't agree with not picking De Ligt. I don't agree with not playing with a striker. I didn't agree with taking Bruno off with 10 minutes. When I look at his team today, he's made less mistakes than he did last week. He's put Xerxes in, he's brought De Ligt in, and he's benched Maguire. I mean, on the one hand, people are saying, oh, it's disgusting that Ahmad's been dropped. But no one's giving Ten Hag the praise for dropping Maguire. And I just think we've just got to be a little bit even-handed here. It's a mistake, in my opinion, not to start Ahmad and to start Rashford, because Rashford's not been playing well. Ahmad has just won Player of the Month and scored the goal last week and has been consistently good since the end of last season. So Ahmad is very, very unlucky to be dropped for a player that's not playing very well in Rashford. But take it away from that for a moment. Maguire was shit last week. Protected by the British press, but he was shit last week. And he's been dropped for De Ligt. I actually thought he might start Maguire. So he's dropped Maguire for De Ligt. And to me, that is a really positive decision from Ten Hag. So at the very least, I would say he's cancelled out the Ahmad dropping by dropping Maguire. And then also you've got Xerxes starting as a striker. Now, some might say if Mount had been fit, Xerxes would be on the bench as well. But, some might say a lot of things. So I'm not actually as frustrated or as angry about that team as I think some people should be. Because if you just take a deep breath for a minute and go, I'm not going to think about Ahmad being dropped. I'm going to look at the rest of the team. Actually, there's not a lot more you could do. Luke Shaw's not fit, so you've got to play Delo at left back. Agate's not available, so you've got to play Casemiro. Mount's not available, so it allows Xerxes to play. Maguire's been dropped and De Ligt comes in. Are you ever going to get your perfect team as well? Are you ever going to see a Man United team where you go, everything is perfect. I'm really happy with everything about that. And I don't know whether that actually will ever be the case. And we're one player away from a team that I would be ecstatic with. So, as I said before, I don't think Marcus Rashford starting today, it's not like we can't take him off if he plays badly, is it? So, yeah, I would have started Ahmad, but I genuinely don't think it's going to be that much of a problem, and I don't think it's going to be the reason that we lose the game, and it could be the reason that we win the game. So I'm quite relaxed. And I'm not going to use that as an excuse. And I tell you what, I don't want any excuses today. It's Manchester United at Old Trafford against Liverpool. We're not playing at Anfield. I think that the way this game pans out today is very much going to be about how we want to get out there and express ourselves. And I look at that De Ligt Martinez pivot, whatever you want to call it, and I think, you know what, how high is that defensive line going to be? Because it might not be as high as we think it's going to be, but it has the potential to do that. Wouldn't it be nice in the first 10 minutes if we actually push high up the pitch? HPN says, did you get your Oasis tickets? No, I was talking about it on That's Football. Come on, Ahmad made the wrong decision over and over, says Jonas. Ahmad is even better at tracking back, says United 1. Ahmad is very good at tracking back, you're right. But look, the decision's made. I've got my cup of coffee waiting for a 9 a.m. start here in Canada. This is an important game. Go United, says Michael. Thank you very much for your super chats that are coming in as well. Og says, Garnacho is our best winger. Ahmad, the player of the month. And Rashford still starts. If this is not favouritism, I don't know what it is. Look, can we just make an agreement here? And I think we'll all be better off for it. Repeat after me. We all want to win. If you're a United fan, you want to win. If Rashford scores and we win, we're happy. Let's be positive. Let's focus on the win. And guess what? After the game, we have a match reaction show where you can do your player ratings and I do mine. And if we lose and Rashford plays shit, then Ten Hag is putting himself absolutely under pressure. And I will be there with you to say, this guy is putting himself out of a job because his favouritism is incredible. But we're not at that point. And something might have happened in training this week where Ten Hag has gone, Rashford's on fire. This is the game we've been waiting for. So let's just trust the manager on the team and see what happens, because I haven't been in training this week and neither of you. So let's see what happens. And if it goes wrong, you can all go, I told you so. The favouritism is going to cost him his job. But for now, let's just see what happens, because you just don't know how it's going to work out. I think now that Rashford sees that Ineos isn't playing around with outgoings, he's going to turn things around, starting with this game, says Ivan. I'm more interested in how Casemiro plays. I believe with Ugarte, this may be his last chance to prove he should be in the lineup. I agree. I think this is where it's at, Coach Claymore. I really do. I feel the more Rashford plays and makes mistakes, the more Ten Hag will have to drop him in a graceful way without hurting his feelings, says Sujai. On the Rashford selection, says Sim, do you think it's just a case of picking a senior player in a big game? Could be. He's got to prove himself today, says Jason. Chelsea dressing room, says, I don't know what that means. Every manager picks Rashford. I'm starting to think he's something in his contract, says Ari. The Battle of the Bolds, says Jackie Boy. Arne Slot is going to want to make a statement, so don't be surprised if they don't slow down and we lose by 3 or 4. You can't be losing by 3 or 4 here. Major pressure on this guy now, benching Ahmad, says United 1. Doug and Alan, welcome to Members Club. Battle of the Baldy, says We'll See. And Joshua Middleton, welcome to Members Club, you're a legend. Nicholas Hill as well, thanks for getting your badge in. I'm very excited to see Kone play. What do you think about him being seen very close to the first team? Well, I don't know anything about him, CSRRR. I don't think anybody else does, because I don't think he actually plays club football out of Mali. So we'll have to wait and see what he's all about. Experience matters a lot in big games, says Drub. And Fishcake says, I'd prefer Ahmad, but Rashford can get in behind their press. This is usually when he gets one-on-one. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, look, as I said, let's see how that plays out, because it might not play out badly. And also, let's also see how it works in relation to we have got a bench. Our bench isn't that good, actually, because of the injuries. We'll talk about that in a moment. But our bench isn't that good, and we'll talk about Liverpool too. We're sponsored by Super 6. I know a lot of you are already involved. Listen up. Super 6 is the best football prediction game in the universe, and we've partnered with Super 6, with the United Stand, the best independent football channel in the world, to bring you huge jackpots and prizes. All you need to do is head over to the Super 6 app, links in the description, or scan the QR code. Enter your 6 score predictions and the money could be yours. You can compete against each other in our official league with the code UTDS6, and whoever tops it each week will win a £100 voucher for classic football shirts. Really enjoying this game. 6 Premier League games. You predict the scores for all of them. 2-1 is what I went for, Manchester United. Now, my predictions didn't win the £1 million this week, but many of you are still in the race. So if someone wins, we'll let you know right here, because this is the last prediction game of the 6, and then we can find where you are and become your best friend. This week's game is obviously closed because we've already had 5 of the 6, but if you want to play, get involved, don't worry. We'll be back with a brand new round shortly after the international break. So make sure you join the United Stand Mini League and get involved with your predictions. Remember, the code is UTD-S6 to join. It's free to play. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. A winner every week, which we'll shout out. I don't know how well I'm doing this week, actually. That would be worth a look. I will have a look at that in a bit. But big shout out, Super 6. Get involved in that. Just in relation to the Premier League as well, I'm not counting my chickens, but if we win today, we're in 5th. We might not be in 5th because of goal difference, but we would be joint 5th with Liverpool, Brentford and Aston Villa with 6 points. We would be 1 point off second, which is Brighton, Arsenal and Newcastle with 7 points. So a win for United today puts one of these on our face. 6 points from our first 3 puts us 1 point off second and right in the mix. Because Spurs have only got 4 points. They've lost to Newcastle, they drew to Leicester. Chelsea, who have been very good, have only got 4 points because they lost to Man City and they've just drew at home to Crystal Palace. So we have, look, even if we get a draw, we've got 4 points with Spurs and Chelsea. But a win today, actually, with the way the results have gone, wouldn't be too bad for us. So go and get the win. And I'm not making any excuses anymore. I heard somebody said to me last night's show. I barely remember it. I was a bit. I said a lot. I made a lot of sense, but I was a bit tipsy. Somebody said, "I can't wait for Ten Hag to get sacked, so you get proved wrong." I don't think. Look, you've got the positivity brigade. You've got the head so far up their arse singing Ten Hag in. They don't even know why they're doing it. I said Ten Hag in the summer because I wanted him to get a 3rd year. I think he deserved the right to get a 3rd year. But I will not be called out if he gets sacked as getting it wrong. There are levels and intricacies to this. In May, when he won the FA Cup final, I felt we, as a fan base, deserved to see what year 3 was. Because what if year 3 was winning the Europa League, qualifying for the Champions League and playing great football? We would never know if we didn't get the chance to see it. And I think that's the decision Ineos have made when you look at the signings. He's earned the right for season 3. Let's see what he can do in season 3. But I don't remember anybody saying, give him season 3 because we're going to be amazing. I remember saying he deserves season 3 to see what happens. If it all goes wrong, get rid of him. All I wanted for Ten Hag was year 3. To see what it was all about. If it goes wrong, which is possible, sack him. That doesn't make me Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out. That makes me, he had to get season 3, which I agree with, and now he's got to deliver with no excuses, which I think he does have to do. So anybody who was Ten Hag out in May, if Ten Hag gets sacked this season, we're not wrong for wanting him to stay. We'll just be in a position where we go, he did need to get sacked, but at least we saw that year 3 and we'll never not know what was going to happen. Because if we'd sacked him in May, I always would have said, we don't know what would have happened. He might have took us to league titles. Whereas if he gets himself sacked this season, then we'll know he wasn't the right guy. And overarching all of that is accountability, standard, and more importantly, no excuses. There are no excuses for Ten Hag this season. He made a lot of mistakes last week and he got called out for them. If he makes a lot of mistakes today and we play shit and we get beat, he'll get called out for them and he'll move closer towards that exit door because we're Manchester United and we have got standards. And just because you fought for Ten Hag to stay in the summer doesn't mean you have to keep doing it this season if it starts to go wrong. So I'm 100% behind this manager and I'm 100% no regrets fighting for him to stay in the summer. But this is a new season. This is a new battle. And just because we fought for you then doesn't mean we'll fight for you now. Watch the film Braveheart. Some people fight for Mel Gibson and then they turn their back on him later on and he gets, betrayed. So it's all about delivering. Yes, we haven't got a left back, but we knew we didn't have a left back and the club decided not to get one. Crack on with it. If you were in charge, you'd have got a left back. So we go with what we've got. And And I think that's a great point about today, because when we look at this Liverpool side that we're playing today, and we look at where that Liverpool side can cause us problems, you don't need to look further away than Mo Salah. For me, one of the best right wingers in the world, one of the best players in the Premier League over the last few years, and probably his last year in the Premier League now. He delivers. He's like Postman Pat. He delivers, and he's a threat, and he's a goal threat, and he's an assist threat. And as much as Delo has done really well for us in the last couple of years, all he'll ever be at left back is a right back doing well at left back. It's not specialist. It's not his position. So that is an area. And even if Luke Shaw was fit, who is a very good left back, you'd still say Mo Salah's a threat. So that is an area of a threat. I also think Mazraoui against Diaz will be a key, because Diaz, opening day against Ipswich was wasteful. Against Brentford, he was very good. He's in good form at the moment, and he is a good player. Jota is a pain. He's probably the most successful false nines in the Premier League. He's very, very good at it. And then their midfield is just very organised. They're very good at what their job is. So, and their defence is very tight. So Liverpool come here with a consistency born from Jurgen Klopp last year, and a manager that's the only real new thing. The team knows itself. Normally, a new manager at Anfield, at Old Trafford in Game 3, there'd be a vulnerability, because you'd go new players, new manager. They've got to get used to each other. The players know each other in that Liverpool team. They know their system. They know that they know each other. It's the manager who's the newbie. So they probably come into this game with more continuity and more of a system and more fluidity than us. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. Bench-wise, this is where it gets interesting, because we know how important the benches are. You look at that Liverpool bench: Kwanzaa, Bradley, Elliott, Endo, Gakpo, Gomez, Kelleher, Nunez, Tsimikas. Relatively strong bench. United have got 2 goalkeepers on the bench again. I don't know why we're doing that, but that worries me. We're going back to having two goalkeepers on the bench again. But it's not a strong bench. That's probably why. Biinda on the bench with Heaton, Evans, Maguire, Ericsson, Collier, Ahmad, Anthony, Wheatley. I look at that bench, and there's, apart from Ahmad, Agate's just coming out here. Apart from Ahmad, he's the only player on that bench that I look at and go, game changer. Ericsson, Collier's a kid, Wheatley's a kid, Maguire and Evans are defenders, Anthony, well, you know, hopefully he can be a game changer. So apart from Ahmad for Rashford or Ahmad for Garnacho, there's not a lot on that bench. And I tell you where it worries me a little bit. Midfield worries me. This game will be won and lost in the midfield. And when you look at that midfield, Mainu got tired in the last 2 games around 65 minutes. Casemiro is already a query around legs. Bruno, there is no number 10 we can bring on. So that midfield, not only has it got to play well, it's got to play well for 90 minutes. Because we don't have anything in that midfield today. Hope you're well, Mark, says Shell. Can I please have a shout out for my dad, Joe Boy, and to my United family. Shout out to Joe. Love your book as well, Shell. Thank you very much for that. Pray we don't get destroyed, says Constantine. And also we've had a super chat from Tomo, says, just joined. Gutted Rashford starting. Xerxes won't get any service. Let's be positive, Tomo. Let's hope it works out. Sapatashi, we are all focusing on left wing, but I think our midfield will get overrun. I'm not. I'm focusing on the midfield, Sapatashi. I think you're absolutely correct. I think for me, this is about how the midfield perform, not necessarily about Ahmad being dropped, because we can always bring him on. And that's the right way to look at it. That's the right way to look at it as well. Yes, Ahmad not starting might be disappointing, but we can always bring him on. If that midfield gets overrun, we can't do anything about it. So, as I said, yeah, Ahmad could have started. Ultimately, that's fair to say. But we can't do anything about the midfield, and that's where we've got to be strong. Could I get a happy birthday to my wife, Christina, who we are watching the game today, says Vaj. Happy birthday to Christina. I hope you're a United fan. I hope we're going to win. Tristan says Ferrari win, college football later on, and United versus Liverpool. What a weekend. Love from Canada. Come on, United. I think a 2-1 win is possible, says Drew. Hope so. Hope you're well, Mark, says Danny O. Come on, United. Up yours, Danny. Up, Danny. Whatever. You know what I mean, Danny. I'm extremely concerned. Comfort me, Mark, says Natasha. Sky losing their minds over Maguire being dropped for De Ligt, but nothing about Ahmad losing out for Rashford, says BCJ. I mean, that's a Pratt of the Week contender. Is that true? They're so ridiculously biased. It's unbelievable. BCJ. I really hope Rashford tracks back, says Rohan. He's got to. Member Bjorn, Bjorn, welcome to Members Club. Could it be Rashford always trains well, hence his selection, but he just can't transfer that to the game, says Matt. He does train well. A lot of people say that. Is he worried about Ahmad's physicality against Robertson? Garnacho could cause him more trouble with his pace, says Patrick. And I think we have a good squad out, apart from Rashford. Ahmad should be on, says Sean. Nicholas Hill, welcome to the Members Club. I'm very excited, says CSRR. Good stuff. Up yours, Danny, says Peter. Yeah, I didn't mean that. Ericsson to Ajax. No, he's on the bench. Shout out my name when Bruno scores, says Ibrahim. That's how confident I am in a Bruno masterclass tonight. I hope you're right. Mate. Are you nervous, Mark? No, I mean, these are the sort of games where if you're nervous about it, what's the bloody point? You know, no quarter should be given against Liverpool. It's at Old Trafford as well. It's a more difficult game at Anfield. It's at Old Trafford. This is our manor. And we should be, you know, as I said, I've said this so many times. I think I said it in the preview. I've seen some of the best Man United sides we've ever had go to Anfield and struggle against some of the worst Liverpool sides they've ever had. So I'm not nervous. The only thing that makes me nervous is whether these players want to turn up or not. That's the thing for me. United is my final team in an 8 account, Aka, says Chris. I can't have my own team letting me down on my own bets, says Chris. We were a bit unlucky against Brighton, says Fanwell, but we will destroy Liverpool today. Arik is the right manager. Well, I hope you're right. A lot of people saying that Rashford tends to give Trent a torrid time. Well, look, let's hope that Rashford is a little bit more direct than he was against Brighton. Remember that time where he was gone past the player and he's got acres to run into? He's got to run into that space today. I'm sure he's had a lot of feedback this week, in fact. And sometimes if you give somebody major feedback, the best thing you can do is pick them. And maybe Rashford's had so much feedback this week from people like Ten Hag and Van Nistelrooy that they're sort of like, well, we've given you all this feedback about staying onside. We've given you all this feedback about getting shots off. And we've given you all this feedback about being a bit more direct. What better way for you to show that you've improved than starting the game? You know, I don't know. Pascal says, come on, United, we've got to take this victory. So 1 minute away from the start of this game. Let's get ready to rumble. Player ratings will be in the second half. Yes, we'll get that up and running for you. Let me just get this timer ready. Are you nervous? Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm not going to sing, don't worry. I'm not nervous. Don't be nervous. We'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine. No worries. We got this. Liverpool in a huddle. United ready to go. So much time has actually been wasted talking about how we're going to perform with, so much time has been wasted, on Rashford. And actually, what about Xerxes? What about how Mazraoui's going to do against De Ligt? What about how our midfield's going to do against a good Liverpool midfield? What about how high the line's going to be with De Ligt? Are we going to sit and counter, or are we going to go on the front foot? There's so many things that we don't know about as this game kicks off that I think are going to be massively, massively interesting. Bring it on, I say. I mean, look at this from Onana straight away. I mean, that frustrates me. First time he gets hold of the ball, Onana, and he boots it long. I mean, we've got the ball. We have got the ball, but let's not be doing that. Let's not be kicking the ball long from the back. But some good early possession here from Manchester United. And nice switch of the play. And now Dalot has it with a bit of space into Rashford. Now he's got a bit of an overlap. And he holds on to the ball for too long and ignores Dalot. Kept hold of the ball though. It goes all the way back to the halfway line. He needed to release that better and quicker, to be honest. But we've still retained the possession here. And that's what we want to see in these first few minutes. Good possession from Manchester United. Here's Garnacho. Update from Super 6, by the way. Well, hold on a minute. Here's Dalot. He's done well to win it back. Waits for Rashford. Into the box. Not a great cutback. Goes for a corner. Update from Super 6. They've just informed that there are 11 very nervous people watching this game as they've correctly predicted all 5 scores so far. It's all down to this final one. We'll keep you updated as the game progresses. So we could get a £1 million winner on the Super 6. They've predicted 5 correct. If they get this one right, then they'll win the $1 million, which would be great. Corner there. Good play between Dalot and Rashford. Didn't quite get the cutback right, but an early corner for United. And a good start from United, to be fair. Good tempo, good possession. And we need to keep this up. Liverpool haven't had a touch yet. Here's Bruno on the attack. He's got Garnacho to his left. Why did he not pass? Because he goes to Xerxes. Play the simple pass sometimes. Play the simple pass. Hopefully Anthony gets minutes, says Ricky and only Ricky. Kevin, welcome to Members Club. Delit is my lightweight and can't play a high line, says Graham Souness. Corbin says United. Aman says supported Ten Hag against bad mentality players. Rashford must work hard or must be enough to drop him. I hope it doesn't go down to bad refereeing because Anthony Taylor's here, says Anke. Come on United, Rashi Masterclass coming up. He has Trent on toast, says Jarbar Drinks. Could you say hello to my friend Zach, says VZY. And it makes sense why Rashford is starting. Part of the reason why he got the job was that he would get the best out of Rashford, says Harrison. Rashi has a good history with the Big Six as well, says Daryl. Come on United, we have to take the victory, says Pascal. Thank you very much for all your comments. You can already see the terrible decisions in the final third, says James C. Well, don't let Liverpool settle because we've started off quite well here, but this is the first bit of Liverpool play and it's into Salah on the right-hand side. Right, pick up your men. Well done, Martinez. Pick up the second ball, Bruno. That's it. Take the free kick. Reset. Go again. Play on. Here we go. Bruno, pass the ball. Xerxes. Oh, mate, you can't wait for that. You can't wait for that. It's into Jota. Half a chance. Well, Xerxes there needs a bollocking. You can't wait for the ball to come to you in the Premier League. Bruno plays him the pass. He's got to move towards it. Look. No, that's slow from Xerxes there. Very slow. He's got to be a lot quicker than that. I don't think it was a bad pass, Paul. I think he's got to move towards it and anticipate the danger. Great start. Dalot and Garnacho looking dangerous, says Sam. Bruno blames Xerxes for his own pass, says 58. I don't think there was anything wrong with the pass. I think Xerxes does not see that Van Dijk's going to anticipate it, and Van Dijk anticipates it. Xerxes got to get in on Van Dijk here. He's got to really put himself about a bit. Don't give Van Dijk an easy afternoon. United sort of... It's difficult to see at the moment. We're not implementing a press on Liverpool when their defence has got the ball, but we're also not playing a particularly deep line. Keep an eye out. Good ball forward there. And Xerxes gets ahead of Van Dijk that time, but it goes out for a throw-in. Put yourself about, lad. Let him know you're there. Chris Gregory, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Liverpool just having a bit of possession here. Steady start. Not a bad start from United, but we don't want possession with Liverpool. What a ball! What a ball that was. Completely took our midfield out. Into Diaz. 1-0. 1-0 Liverpool. Trent. Oh, who should be marking Trent, by the way? Who should be marking Trent? Who should be marking Trent there on the back post? Who's the right back for Liverpool? Who's the danger man in the preview? What did I say about somebody probably shouldn't play this game because they won't track the right back? About as much movement as an ice cube. Well, ice cubes probably do have a bit of movement, don't they? But what? It was a lovely pass by Van Dijk, and then look at Rashford. That is not Dalot's man on the back post. That is not Dalot's man. That is not Dalot's man. There might be an offside. There might be an element of VAR offside on Salah here, but yeah, this is offside. That's offside. We've got away with it. We've absolutely got away with that. Salah's touched the ball ahead of the ball. So lucky. So lucky. Tell you what, Marcus Rashford is a lucky lad there, because we spoke about this in the preview, and that is nothing to do with Dalot. Dalot is marking his man, Salah. Who should be marking Trent? The guy who is 10 metres away from him. We're really lucky there. And I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, because people will be going, it's Dalot's fault. It's not fucking Dalot's fault. Dalot's marking Mo Salah because Mo Salah's the winger. The right back cannot be left by the left winger. Just the same Andy Robertson cannot be left by Garnacho. We're very, very lucky. And Marcus Rashford is very fucking lucky, because we literally spoke about that on the preview. I said I wouldn't play Rashford because I don't think he switches on to track attacking fullbacks. And literally, that's what happened there. Very, very lucky. I'd rather have Sam Kerr on the wing than Rashford, says Big Man. Go clean that poor camera lens, Trent, says Himothy. Rashford is a luxury player we can't afford. He never shows urgency in defence. We're very lucky, but we move on. You said it, Mark. Rashford is costing us already with Trent. Casemiro nowhere to be seen there as well, says Zeno. That was on Bruno. Why did he press ahead of the striker? He left so much behind. Zanny, come on. You can't go back 3 phases of play and blame a player. You can say they had a responsibility, but if Trent Alexander-Arnold scores a goal on the back post because he's not marked by Rashford, then it's Rashford's fault. It's not Bruno's fault, is it? I will never understand why Eric won't play Garnacho on the left and Ahmad on the right, says Ben Jr. Thank you very much. Okay, look, we're very lucky not to be 1-0 down, but he's just not tracking Trent here. Trent's in again. Ball into Salah. Rashford needs to just fucking work harder. Need to calm down a little bit here. But also, I do agree, midfield is a problem. And that to me is the bigger problem. You've got to track the runners. And if Casemiro is too slow to do it, well in Delit. Casemiro's so fucking slow. He's so slow. Opinionated Observer says, Mark, when will United fans finally wake up to Rashford? He's lived off the past and wouldn't have had a chance unless United had a bad injury. Playing like strangers all over the shop, need leaders, says DJ. Casemiro's just caught McAllister in the bread bin there. Nuts. We need to just switch on here because we're so easy to get in against, aren't we, again? People not picking up the runners. People not tracking back. Same old story. Same old story. We need Agate, says Constantine. Playing like strangers all over the shop, and we need leaders, says DJ. We started off quite well. When we've got the ball, it's good. It's just the slow pace of picking up the runners. Keel says we think we need Rabiot. Right, have a bit of possession here. Martinez. It was a good tackle by De Ligt before that as well. We're doing this again, though. Remember we did this at the start of the season against Wolves? We're doing this silly thing again where everybody's playing in a front six and then we're leaving a back three. Here's Delo. Decentish cross. Good defending by Van Dijk. Garte, we really need. Casemiro is the worst, says Jims. Marcus is giving Trent too much space and trusting his pace to get back. Did it with Veltman last week and it's still not working, says Jojo. So Xerxes looks a bit slow, says Used. Midfield's dead, says Mark Gallagher. Rashford for Chiesa, straight swap, says Dominic. And why didn't United go after someone like Jonathan David, says Ben. No one went after Jonathan David, did they? 1 year left on his... What happened with Jonathan David? 1 year left on his contract. No one took it. So he's going to be a free agent next year. I don't know what the situation is with Agate, but realistically, even having him on the bench would have been a decent option. Well done, Xerxes. Goes for a goal kick. Delo is a better left winger than Rashford, says Joshua. Nice ball in there. Get in on, get in on. Come on, good pressing. That's our ball. Xerxes, Garnacho. Rashford's not on it. Probably wasn't a good pass by Garnacho, to be fair. Good play. Delo's had a good start. Here we go. Mainu, go wide, go wide. Here we go. Bruno, let's have a look. Rashford, now find the pass. Corner, that'll do. Well played. Xerxes needs to be on his toes. He's lunging for the ball a lot, says it's Salient. Mate, he's coming into a league he's never played in before. I'll have patience with someone like Xerxes because it will take time to get up to pace. It's his first start for Man United, actually. So we have to have it, you know. I remember Fabinho going to Liverpool. It wasn't till season 2 that he really started delivering. So you can have a little bit of patience. But a reasonable start by United on the ball. Off the ball, it's been a bit of a concern. But that's a throw-in. "14 minutes gone. Set piece is shocking," says Dan. Brickwall says, "Has anyone's dog died today?" Well, if anyone's dog has died, rest in peace. "Would you take a Dogie from Spurs?" says PM. Well, we can't take anybody at the moment, can we? Hypothetical transfers when a transfer window's just closed ain't going to help us. But the defence is so much higher already with De Ligt, says Steve Woodley. "We look great in possession, but we lack some serious pace in the midfield out of possession," says Roberts. Well, hopefully we will see that change in the coming weeks. Kevin says Casemiro's seeing stars. The pace is too much for him, says Kevin. And why does our midfield get bypassed so easily? Exactly what was said before by Steve and Robert. It's It's a lack of movement. It's a lack of... Brilliant by Mazraoui there. Unlucky. Bad pass by Xerxes. But Delo's in again ahead of Salah. He's had a good start. Fullback's playing well. I like the urgency from the fullbacks. Tenacious and quick. They've shown a lot of urgency. But Liverpool have it back. Can't allow them to get a foothold. Can you shout out my ice cream van? Yeah, I'm not doing that, Rory. I'm not an idiot. Am I the only one who finds Ten Hag taking notes on the sideline like a madman? Funny, says Danny. Well, here's Garnacho. Go on then. Cut it back. No one's there. Where's the midfield? No legs. And Anana, just play the pass. That's a good bit. Good play. Keep the possession. I mean, talking about the midfield, Trijit, I don't like to say it, but already I can just see Kobe Mainoo going backwards and forwards with no one anywhere near him. There's a lot of space in that midfield again. So I'm not convinced we are playing a high line because I can just see acres of space in the midfield again. And I just see Kobe Mainoo looking like he's blowing out his arse already, running backwards and forwards. Look at how much... Look, where's our defensive line here then? It's not even on the halfway line. Can't see the defensive line, and Liverpool have got it on the edge of their box. We ain't playing a high line here. Look at this now. Where's our defence? You can't see it. They've got it right that now you see the defence. That is quite a big gap between our defence and the attack. It needs to be way more compact. I mean, you've got a sweeper keeper. Don't worry about it. Well done, Delit. Well done, Delit. Good pace. And that's a foul. That's a foul. Bruno too high up. Casemiro too slow. That tires out Mainoo, says Landon. Well, remember, I spoke about this before the game. If you look at that bench, midfield has got nothing. There is nothing on that midfield bench that's going to come on and help us if Mainoo tires or Casemiro tires. I'm still shocked by how amazing Mazraoui is. Ben, I've been very impressed with both our fullbacks to start. I mean, the back fours looked good. The goal wasn't a goal. It was offside, but the back four didn't do anything wrong. That started from the midfield. Oh, Casemiro flying into a tackle again, and he's, about 2 weeks too late. You can't afford for Casemiro to get booked, but to me, he looks like he's got a yellow card about to pinch one out any time. Good play by Mazraoui again, and Garnacho. Give him a pass. Give him a pass. We're not composed in possession. We're playing a bit scared. Says it's Sayan. And the Duke said that. I understand what Xerxes does works for him and it's his first season, so we can't hound him. Although it makes our attacking options less, they already are. What do you think, Mark? Says it's Sayan. Too early. Too early. Absolutely hated the double false nine with Bruno and Mount, but I could see it as having to use it in this game. And they're on again. It's Salah. And we've won that back. And Mainoo's down injured. Bang to the head. Right, take a breath. What are your thoughts? Midfield is terrifying me. Probably needs a bit of a breather, Mainoo. Chiri, thank you very much for that super chat. Let's have a look at what people are saying. That could gone really bad, really fast again there, says Mike. Look, I literally was just typing it. The midfield is terrifying me. And I said this before the game. You can moan about Rashford, but he can come off. He can come off after an hour. The midfield is... There's so much space in there. And I mean, I know Mainoo's injured at the moment, but just watch Mainoo for the next 10 minutes and see that running he's having to do back and forward and back and forward. Casemiro looks like he's playing on slow play. And he's blowing out his arse already. Look at him. 350k a week. The midfield is the problem. It was the problem at the end of last season. It was the problem in the summer. It's the problem here. Casemiro's reactions are about as fast as my nan's internet, says Vincent. Absolutely. So thank you very much for that, Vincent, by the way. Mainoo looks like he's going to be okay, thank God. We can't afford to be using him. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. 65% possession for Man United, though. That's a bit of an unknown thing. We're currently on 928,000 subscribers, by the way. We're getting close to 929, so please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the channel. Match reaction straight after this, where you can vote in the player ratings, and it aggregates all your votes. The most accurate and fan-led player ratings in the world. Get involved in that. United trying to play out from the back. Terrible ball, that, by Martinez. Sometimes you just got to put your foot through it. And Liverpool have got the ball right on the edge of the box here. Good tackle by De Ligt. He's had a good start here. And now Mainoo. Give it to Rashford. No, that's Xerxes. Where is Rashford? He's not even in the picture. Now he is. Give it back to Mainoo. Give it back to Mainoo. That's it. Retain the ball. Retain the ball. Ball into Casemiro. Nicely into Garnacho, but it wasn't that accurate. And now Xerxes might get booked. No. Yeah. Yellow card. I mean, I've got to say, it's a yellow card. Like, you can't... He's pulled his shirt in his own half. I think De Ligt, Mazraoui and Delo have been the strong players for me here. Reading the game so well, anticipating, getting the tackles in, urgency, aggression. Very happy with De Ligt and Mazraoui and Delo so far. Xerxes looks off the pace. I agree. I think Mount would have started if he'd have been fit. So, that's an injury issue. I'm not going to moan about Xerxes in his first game. Here's Garnacho. Go on, lad. Drive, drive, drive. It's a good ball. Rashford. No pace. No pace there from Rashford. Slower than an ice cube melting in the freezer. Where's that pace gone? I refuse to believe that, but that's a good ball by Garnacho, and prime Rashford there. He's going to cause Konate a problem, and Konate's coasting onto that ball. You can't lose pace at 26. Only threat off the bench is Ahmad. It's scary, says Sion. Well, the scary thing is Liverpool are starting to settle their way into this game, and I always say this. First 10 minutes, doesn't matter whether you're at Anfield or Griffin Park. Bottom line is, home team, always going to be excited. Let them have it for the first 10 minutes and build your way into the game. Bruno is looking like a super captain today, says Daryl. Thanks for your super chat, Daryl. Appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Here we go. Gravenberch. Don't let him shoot. Well in Delo. Casemiro off, says Ewan. For who? Who for? We haven't got anyone on the bench. How are we looking first 25 minutes, says SK. I think first 5 minutes we looked all right. Then Liverpool started growing into it, scored what looked like a legitimate goal. It's funny, isn't it, how football can even itself out? Because that Brighton goal last week that was offside was very, very unlucky. But then we were very lucky because it's instantly... sometimes football does work like that, doesn't it? I don't always agree that things level themselves out, but we've had it back the week later. We scored a goal against Brighton. It was a stupid offside, but technically it was offside. Liverpool have scored a goal against us, and technically there was an offside in the build-up. So we've been a bit lucky to cancel out last week, but I feel like Liverpool are just starting to get into the game a little bit more, and they'll be growing in confidence. And you can sort of sense from the crowd as well, can't you, that they're seeing it the same way that we're seeing it, that United just seem to be... Doesn't look like the crowd feel like United are going to get something here at the moment. You know, maybe that goal being disallowed has sort of killed the mood a little bit, and it's like the inevitable is going to come. You can lose pace at 26. It's called lack of motivation, says Opinionated Observer. Don't think Rashford is enjoying football, says Jake. Pre-COVID Rashford is never going to come back, says Pusher. Bruno presses the defenders too often and vacates the midfield. Once his press is bypassed, he leaves our midfield outnumbered, says Devil. Thank you very much. It's a little bit just too easy for Liverpool at the moment. They're just popping it around. Bring on McTominay, says Frank. Yeah, this is definitely not a game for Scott McTominay, is it? If we're losing 1-0 and you want to chuck long balls in the box, definitely. But, oh, Casemiro. That was a bad pass by Delo, to be fair. He should be getting a shout. Communication's not great. Lovely ball, that, though. Xerxes, come on. Oh, that's a terrible pass. Come on. You know what we're doing wrong here at the moment? No, look, that's good sweeper keeping by Alisson. See, that's what I want Onana to do. That's not a bad ball over the top by Casemiro for Rashford to chase. And it's a bit of a race. But then Alisson's just there, sweeper keeping. So the ball over the top is going to... It's almost got to be perfect. United impressed me defensively so far, Mark, says Joshua. Yeah, I think apart from that one lapse, which wasn't on the back four, I think our back four has looked all right. De Ligt looks like he's been playing for years. Look how high Onana is here. I like that. I don't like that, though. Bruno's clapping it. I don't fucking know why. It was shit. Give me some water. Don't forget to play Super 6. Get involved in our league, UTD-S6. Free to play. Predicts the 6 Premier League fixtures each week. And you can win prizes. Apparently, 11 players are still active this week in the final game. They could win $1 million. Oh, good interception by De Ligt. Brilliant. Oh, good play by Mainu as well. Yes, good play there all round. De Ligt, very good interception. And then Mainu does well as well. And then he gives it away. But Delo's there. Right, here we go. Bit of space. Good play, Casemiro. Bring it, bring it, bring it. Bruno. There. No, Xerxes was the pass. He tries to go for a Hollywood pass to Rashford. It's never on. Do you think Rashford's back injury is the problem, says Daniel? Oh, what a ball that is. Watch out. Salah's about. Here's Jota. Brilliant by De Ligt. Ah, this guy. This guy. That's 2 brilliant tackles in a row. What a start. Absolutely brilliant. Jota's got him there. Jota's running into the box. You think he's going to get a shot, and De Ligt just reads it, takes it off him. Brilliant defending. Delo is on fire. De Ligt is so fast, says Reza. Xerxes seems to be sitting so deep, making Bruno do more work. He should just sit in the number 9 position as he seems off the pace and a bit lost, says KD. Do you think Rashford's back injury is the cause for pace, says Daniel? We need to bring in Lingard as a motivational assistant for Rashford, says ESC. I don't... Hold on a minute. Here's Diaz up against Mazraoui. Defence are doing well here. They're having to do well. Good play, Garnacho. I don't understand how these players are passing the ball so badly. It's like they're on the piss last night, says DJ. When a ball over the top to Rashford was exciting, says Joshua. And Niki says, Rashford's lost a yard of pace since his back injury. I won't be told differently. De Ligt is looking top. No more attacking and passing backwards, Maguire. For all our good defending, Liverpool are dominating at the moment in the attacking sense. A lot of people giving De Ligt a lot of credit. Wonder what the pundits will say about De Ligt now, says Aidan. Oh, agenda press, they won't change it. They won't change their minds. They won't change their mind. Right, corner to Liverpool here. Let's be wary. We, last season, was so bad at conceding chances from corners. And obviously we're very bad at, scoring from corners. But it was always a problem defensively. We brought in a new set-piece coach. Let's hope that we are better this season. Casemiro needs to come off, says Kevin, but we've got no one to take off. And we've got it here. We've got a bit of a break. Mazraoui, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And bad pass. Xerxes, Garnacho, back post, back post. Mazraoui, and keeper's got hold of that. Mark, have you ever thought of doing different beer sampling during games? Says John. I'd be hammered in this sort of a game. K-Stone says, Xerxes isn't super quick, but he doesn't wait for crosses in the box. Our wingers rarely cross the ball. He can finish and will create goals dropping deep, says K-Stone. And Anil says we need to play a little bit more patiently. Light on his feet in terms of energy. Commentary on Rashford, says Danny on the gas. That's a nice way of saying that he doesn't look focused. Here we go. Bruno, Xerxes. No. We're going for silly passes. And look at the press here. They have absolutely bypassed our press. We need to be fucking careful here. How hard is it to play that pass, Bruno, says Constantine. Good tackle, Casemiro. That's a foul on Mainu. Reset. De Ligt sitting down the critics, says Chris. Xerxes, the love child of Fellaini and Scott. Our bench is terrible, says Luke Walsh. Xerxes is a big guy. I'm not calling him heavy, but if he loses a few, do you reckon he'll do better in terms of pressing? Says it's Cyan. I think this kit, I've said this before, I think this kit makes players look heavier than they are. Gaz says, Rashford personally tested all those meals. Okay. Agate should have been our wild card today, says Bjorn. Casemiro needs to come off. We can't do that. 33 minutes gone. Still 0-0. Interesting stat there. Of the last 10 touches in the opposition's box, Liverpool have had 8 of them. And this is at Old Trafford. Marcus, there's a lot of people going in on Xerxes. I'm not really all for that. It's his first game in a Man United shirt, starting, and people are expecting him to hit the ground running. I think expectations need to be tempered a little bit. Players do need time. Wish my friend David best luck in his draft today, says Nizam. Right, here we go. Casemiro, come on. Simon says, ball playing goalkeeper, my ass. He's still booting it. That's better, though. Oh, fucking hell, Casemiro. What the fuck are you doing there, trying to play that? I don't even know what pass he's playing, and we're straight on the bloody attack again. Oh, for fuck's sake, mate. That is completely on fucking Casemiro. Absolutely useless. Fucking useless, mate. He's meant to be running the midfield. He couldn't fucking run a bath. Just Pratt. Absolute Pratt. You may as well have a fucking garden gnome playing in the midfield. Absolutely, just stood there with a bloody smile on his face and a nice kit on. Completely concrete and immobile. Absolute Pratt. That is absolutely on Casemiro. There ain't no joking about it. The garden gnome of the Man United midfield. Look at him, bloody smile on his face. What's the point in a garden gnome in your garden? Don't get me started on them. But what's the point in fucking Casemiro in the last 6 months? We had a good bit of possession there. We're moving the ball around, and I still don't know what pass he's playing. He just whacks it on the ground straight to Liverpool. I said this. I said it 10 minutes ago. They are going to score if we keep fucking about with it. Useless. If that was Scott McTominay or Fred or any other midfielder that's been sold over the last 10 years, people would lose their shit. I mean, watch that pass back from Casemiro and tell me what he's trying to do. At best, he's trying to play a worldy 40-yard pass through 4 Liverpool players that if he gets it wrong, they're running at our back 4. Absolutely diabolical that we're still using a player like that in our midfield who couldn't give a fuck last season and can't give a fuck this season. And people were telling me he's back. It's a bloody liability. I said it in the summer. 350k a week, a yellow card waiting to happen, 32, slow, careless on the ball, and yeah, oh yeah, we'll be fine. Let's keep him. I understand we can't get rid of him, but fucking hell. Joshua, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. 350k a week we're paying him to fuck up games. And everyone's going on about Rashford and Ahmad, and that's absolutely fine. But what did I say? What did you say? We can moan about Rashford or Ahmad. It will not cost us this game. The game will be won and lost in the midfield. And what worried me before the game was the midfield. Marcus Rashford's not costing us the game. He might not play well, but he will not cost us the game. The midfield will cost us the game. Casemiro's finish, says John. For a veteran CDM with tons of experience at the highest level is a large portion of stupid tackles and passes that cost us the game, says Uncle Drew. What was it last season? Playing everybody on side against Arsenal, running out of the midfield and leaving a big hole against Crystal Palace. That stupid header back when we're winning 1-0 right at the end against Burnley. Again today. Last week, back post, fucks off. He's cost us 2 goals already this season out of 3. Guy's got a 66% fucking hit rate. The problem is, he's the hitman against us. Fucking James Bond, get Casemiro. Fucking hell, his hit rates is legendary. Trouble is, he'll be taking out your own fucking agents. Watch this. What the fuck is that? What was it you were trying to do? What were you trying to do? Pray tell me, what was he trying to do there? What pass was he trying to do there? It's not on. There's no pass. There's just white shirts. You're playing red. You're not playing for Real Madrid anymore. He's passing to a fucking white shirt. Oh, mate. Don't watch that back. You're probably too late. Don't watch the pass he tries to play. Here we go. Right-hand side. Come on then, Bruno. Oh, that's a handball. Ref. No, I ain't going to give that. Because it wasn't a handball. Beryl's not happy with Casemiro. Mark, are you okay? You seem a bit stressed, says Joe. Well, Mainu again, look, having to do all the work. Whoever gave Casemiro a 5-year contract needs to be investigated, says David. Relax, says Joe. Casemiro needs to be subbed off, but who do you bring on, says Amrit? Well, we haven't got anyone. Even US commentators are saying United need Ugarte, says Daryl. This is exactly where Ugarte should do better. He's a destroyer that goes for high percentage passes, not the Hollywood ones. The job of a holding midfielder is to literally retain possession. You know, Martinez is getting booked. Rodri plays more passes than everybody else. Oh, fuck off, Van Dijk. It's got nothing to do with you. Look at him running forward, trying to get involved. Fuck off, Van Dijk. If you want to fight, go and have a fight and get sent off. Stop acting like you're Billy Big Bollocks. It's a game of football. You want to get in the fucking ring, go and get in the ring. You're not going to get... Martinez, leave him. Leave it. Leave it. In fairness, who else are we supposed to play there this week? Ugarte wasn't signed and registered in time. Still crap from Casemiro, says Emily. Just bring Ericsson and move Mainu, says Shaheen. Oh, they're trying to United giving away 6 points for not getting Ugarte, says Jims. Shocks, thank you. Welcome to the Members Club. You lot make me sick. We saw Bruno miss 5 counter-attack with bad passes and so quick to blame Casemiro for zooting. So shameless. Bruno is just as bad. Didn't cost us a goal though, did he? Came for the paycheck and stayed for the paycheck, says Jackie Boy. Casemiro's game is finished, says John. And for a veteran, we've done that one. Uncle Drew said about him being a veteran CDM and he doesn't seem to have any composure. Look, in fairness to Liverpool, they could have been 1-0 up from the offside anyway. And they are absolutely annihilating us. I mean, could you be any worse taking Casemiro off and bringing Collier on? We got it. You know what? United need to fucking... I really don't think Collier could do any worse. Oh, what a goal. What a goal. Diaz. Fucking hell. What a goal. Salah, Diaz, 2-0. I tell you what did I say this week? You know the Ten Hag crew who are behind Ten Hag saying, oh, this and that. They're looking at Casemiro here again. Another Casemiro mistake. Fucking hell. Mate. He's playing like a constipated turtle on fucking sleeping pills. Absolutely fucking dreadful, mate. This ain't a disaster class. It's a shower of fucking shit. We'd be better off with a fucking shit-covered donkey in a wedding dress in midfield. This is not a disaster class. This is a fucking sabotage. You know what irritates me the most? You know what really irritates me the most? Is that every fucking Man United fan said, and I led it, you know I said it, at what point did Ineos and Ten Hag not have a chat in their superstructure and say, the fixtures came out in mid-June, we play Liverpool before the end of the transfer window. At what point did they say, we'll be fine with Casemiro? We'll be absolutely fine. I mean, could you not see it coming? You give a packet of matches to an arsonist and then your house gets burned down and moan, you ain't got a fucking excuse. Like, we knew this was going to happen in mid-June. We knew we had Brighton away and Liverpool at home in the first 3 games. And we knew Agate was primary target. But for some reason, we thought 9 points don't matter. There's no excuse. I knew Casemiro was done last year. We all knew he was done last year. We all knew it. He's done. I don't think he's doing it on purpose, but he's done. And we bring Agate in right at the end of the window. Weren't ready for the start of the season. I did say wouldn't be surprised if we lost by 3 or 4. This game isn't over yet, but it's starting to look like it. Either put Martinez at DM and bring on a centre-back or bring on Collier. This game's gone, Jackie. This game is gone. And Eric says you'll blame everything except Ten Hag. I don't think anybody's not blaming Ten Hag, mate, actually. BG knows not, though. He says everyone blaming Ten Hag has to wake up. Diaz is open on to defenders too, says Max. I did say I'd be surprised if we didn't lose by 3 or 4, says Jackie. Casemiro has been awful, but this attack has done nothing, says Pizza. I think teams target Casemiro's immobility. He's the trigger point for Liverpool's press, says Sam. Maguire on for Casemiro. Martinez to CDM, says it's Cyan. Imagine Ineos didn't drag their feet on Agate just to end up paying what they wanted. It's cost us 6 points. Says 90 Steve. Look, I don't know the ins and outs about why Agate took so long, but it definitely did. Mainu gets booked. Get Casemiro gone. This stupidity, says Oliver. McTominay is better than Casemiro, let's be honest. Not as a 6, Lewis. That is Ten Hag ball. That's favouritism, says Lee. Sad you did not get Sanderberg. Casemiro is bantering you, Mark. He's laughing, says Joe. Hate to say it. I told you so about Diaz, says Joe. How is that not a foul, says Constantine. Onana would have been perfect for United in the holding midfield role, but instead wasted time on Agate, says HPN. Gary Neville is disgraceful as a so-called United legend. He's all over Liverpool and loves them, says Gordon. Yeah, I think Gary Neville wants Ten Hag out though, doesn't he? I mean, I think that's been pretty obvious from the start of the season. Something changed. Partially blame Ineos. They knew the deadline to register Agate for him to play this game and still paid the same fee. Now we get washed. Casemiro, Robble. This was not even his first mistake. Casemiro has been losing the ball since the first whistle, says Drub. I'd bring Collier on for Casemiro, says Neil. He's got to do something. I mean, Mainu's on a yellow card as well. Mainu is on a yellow card, so that's a big problem. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. My concern is this could become 3 or 4 and Liverpool won't stop. I feel sorry for the back four. Back four has looked solid, says Daniel. Just imagine how good Mainu will be when he's not having to hold a pensioner's hand. Look, at this level, you cannot carry people. You cannot carry people against the quality of what's in the Premier League. You can't play with 10 men against fucking Fulham. You certainly can't play with 10 men against Liverpool. You cannot play with a carrier. You'd be better off with a carrier bag in that midfield. You cannot play with a holding midfielder like that. You can't. We can discuss why his game's fallen apart. We can discuss why we're paying 350k a week for a player like that. His first season here was transformative. Last season it fell off. This season it's not getting any better. But you can't carry players. You will get absolutely battered. You cannot carry players at this level. You can't do it. Now, other people will say, well, we are, you know, we're not down to 10, we're down to 9 because Rashford's on the pitch. Bruno's not playing very well. Xerxes not playing very well. Garnacho's not in the game. Yeah, but maybe they would be in the game more if we had a midfielder that could get us hold of the ball more. He's not winning possession back and he's giving possession up. Just Football says Eric Ten Hag out for favouritism. Ahmad in, Rashford out. Mainu's now getting punished for 18-year carrying Casemiro, says Jamie. To be honest, we might need Rabiot, says Nathan. Take Casemiro off, says Paul. I'd rather have McTominay for Casemiro, says Davin. And Collier for Mainu, Martinez to CDM, says Michael. We haven't fixed anything in the midfield. It's the same as always and we'll struggle this season. There's a lot of space in that midfield. And the defensive line is not following the midfield line either. Knowing Ten Hag, he'll sub off Garnacho. This is very worrying, says Sean Turner. Yes, Casemiro is awful, but the attack is weak. The bench is dreadful, and the style of the play is crap, and it's all down to one person, unfortunately. So we couldn't find a manager to replace Ten Hag, yet Liverpool went and found Slot to replace one of the best managers of all time, says Chris. Can we have a slow mode? Yes, I'll change it. Sorry, Gems. There's no point, is there, if the chat's so bloody hell? That was way too high anyway. Let me change that. That had not been done, Gems. Sorry. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we've got player ratings, match reaction, where you can mark every player out of 10. Szoboszlai, no one's even fucking marking him, and he's got one of the best shots from the edge of the box. He didn't take the shot, thank God. Here's Bruno. Can we get one back before half-time? Xerxes. Bruno. No, that's it. It's gone. Van Dijk's just caught. It's right on half time, I think. I think that's half time. Yeah, bottom right hand corner to subscribe. It's half time here. Manchester United. Casemiro. You know, the thing is, right, for all the criticism of Casemiro, he knows. He does know. I don't think he's like unaware. But sentimentality. We're not a charity. Sentimentality has to go out of the window here. Like, this is high-end sport. Yes, Liverpool have got a new manager, but those players know each other's game like the back of their hands. They've been playing together for a very, very long time. Slot's come in and he slotted in very, very well, pardon the pun. But you just can't carry... I don't know. Like, look, we've all played Football Manager. Some of us have done some level of coaching. Some of us just watch a lot of football. I'm not going to discriminate here because I think everybody would say the same. If you were in charge of that Manchester United side, that midfield, a lot of people, we were live half an hour before the game, a lot of people spent a lot of time talking about why Ahmad wasn't starting. It's a valid conversation. Why is Ahmad not starting? Why is Rashford starting? Has Rashford shown anything in that 45 minutes that justifies him starting over Ahmad? No. But is that why we're losing 2-0? No. If Ahmad had started, would we still be losing 2-0? Yes. Rashford and Ahmad is a separate conversation about why Ten Hag does it. But it was never going to be the reason we lost this game. The reason we were going to lose this game was going to be about the midfield and how much space is in the midfield and how much running Mainu has to do and how much of a liability Casemiro is. And both the goals we've conceded have been because of Casemiro. So that is the biggest issue in that pitch. You can have a moan about Bruno. You can have a moan about Rashford. You can have a moan about Ahmad. You can moan about Xerxes. You can moan about Garnacho. They may be relevant points. You can even moan about Onana booting it long. Relevant. But what you can't say is that that's the reason we're losing. The reason we're losing is because the number 6 would cost us the game against Fulham. Playing like that. You can't play like that. You can't lose the ball. He is so important. If you look at the first goal, we've had 4 or 5 good passes. We're moving up the pitch. He gets the ball as the 6. People are moving. Mazraoui's moving up the pitch. He's got so many options and he does some weird pass that allows Liverpool to break on us when we're all moving forward. And in seconds, it's 1-0. Mazraoui's advanced because Casemiro's got the ball and he trusts Casemiro to keep the ball. Casemiro gives the ball away. We concede a goal. Everyone's out of position. What are Man United supposed to do then? Are the fullbacks meant to say, Casemiro's got the ball, I'm standing still because he'll fuck it up? When your number 6 has got the ball, when Rodri's got the ball for Man City, or Declan Rice has got the ball for Arsenal, or Alexis McAllister's got the ball for Liverpool, your fullbacks are going to move. They're going to go, I trust my 6, I'm moving forward, we're causing overloads, here we go. Casemiro fucks us on the first goal. The second goal, again, the number 6 with the ball gets tackled. Mainu and Bruno are out of the game. The number 6 is the holding midfielder. If he gets tackled, Mainu and Bruno can't be behind him. They will always be ahead of him. If he loses the ball, they're straight on our back 4. It's 2-0. And it's incredible. It's incredible. And I hate being right. But on the tour, people were going, Casemiro's back. Do we even need Ugarte? Casemiro is back. And I was like, fuck off. Casemiro's not back because he played well in pre-season. When the real football starts, we'll have a discussion about whether Casemiro's back. Well, he is back. He's the same player he was at the end of last season. A bloody liability. 350k a week for a 32-year-old that nobody wanted, who is now playing the most important position in our United side, costing us goals. And can I just say, Man United have conceded 4 goals this season. 75% of those goals are because of Casemiro. He has a 75% hit rate. Unfortunately, he's hitting his own teammates. He's cost us 3 goals. He was the one who vacated the back post last week against Brighton, and he is the one who's cost us 2 goals today. That's not just Maguire's mistake against Brighton, which you could just say was bad defending. This is a consistent theme. We're paying him to score goals against us. It's incredible. And at this level of football and at this level of sport, you cannot carry that type of behaviour. And I'm sorry, If I was in charge, I wouldn't be picking him. Now, what would I do? God knows, because for some reason, we negotiated with PSG to the end of the transfer window to pay what PSG wanted. And people are going, we're cooking. Are we cooking? We've got 3 points from fucking 9 because guess what happened in the middle of June? They gave the fixture list out. Why are we leaving the most important signing of the summer to start after the international break? The 9 points not matter. Are we so good that we can give everybody in the Premier League a 9-point head start? And it's not like it's the first time. So David Brailsford did a strategic review. In that strategic review, he should have looked at 2 seasons ago in Ten Hag's first 3 games where we didn't bring in the holding midfielder and we lost the first 2 games because we didn't bring the holding midfielder in until game 3. You've got to look at that. You've got to look at that. If Agate's so important, why is he not coming in until game 4? We weren't ready for the start of this season, were we? Yes, we've had the injuries again. Mason Mount, Rasmus Højlund, Luke Shaw, Yoro. But not having a holding midfielder for the start of this season is fucking criminal. It's criminal. Now, where you put that blame, I'll let you crack on. I don't really know. I don't really know at this point. But what I do know is that last season, he was slow out against Arsenal. He cost us a goal. Last season against Crystal Palace, he cost us a goal. And last season, in the last few minutes against Burnley, he cost us a win as well. And last season, he was a bloody mess in the last 3 months. And then we're starting, it's the old problem with Man United. It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. It's a joke. And look, fair play, I don't want to say this, but fair play to Liverpool. They've absolutely done what I knew they were going to do. The warning was the goal that was offside. Very, very lucky. Was offside, very, very lucky. But last week we were very unlucky. So, come see, come saw, those things happen. But the warning was there with the Trent goal, and we didn't do anything about it. Like getting caught in possession, quick counter-attack, midfield bypassed, not marking up. And yeah, look, I can see what Roy Keane's saying, but you know, Stevie Wonder could tell us about Casemiro. There is no sharp-end analysis here. Like, we're all, if you're not blaming Casemiro, you know, forget it. Go and watch another sport. It's the most obvious thing. Obviously, there is another angle here. I mean, look at that. Liverpool have had 4 shots to our 2. 2 shots on target to our 1. I don't know what ours were. 50% possession to 50-50. But that doesn't tell you the story of the game. It really could be 3-0. We've done nothing. We've not caused them any problems at all. What Ten Hag's challenge here is to stop. You know, honestly, I don't know who agrees with me on this one. I'm partial to saying stop the clock, take the 2-0, start again after the international break with Agate, and you just take the 2-0. I don't know how this gets any better. I don't know. It can only get worse. What if it turns into 3, 4, 5, 6? That's the challenge now. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we are dealing with players who are not well renowned for responding to going behind well. Their heads tend to drop and the possession stats tend to go. 2 things happen. When we're behind, our heads drop and the opposition heads go up. And I tell you what, if we can keep that to 2-0, I'll be stunned. If we can make it look better, it'll be a bloody miracle. This could get a lot worse. Would you make any changes at half time? I mean, look, Xerxes looks off the pace, but he's a brand new player. I don't really think that serves a purpose. Marcus Rashford looks off the pace, but Garnacho's not playing brilliant. You know, the system doesn't help those players. Bruno's erratic and losing his head. Casemiro has to come off. You can't bring Eriksen on. He's got no legs. You've just got to throw Collier on, but that is really risky. He can't do any worse. But you can fuck his career up. You know, you can throw Collier on at half time. It can end up 6-0 and you've just messed up the development of a player. So I said this before the game. Many of you did as well. You look at that bench and you look at the midfield and you go, that midfield really There's nowhere to go if it goes wrong. The thing that terrifies me the most, and I've got to say it, the thing that terrifies me the most is the space in the midfield. It's still massive. And yeah, we can respect Liverpool. They're a good team and they're going to hurt you, and they have hurt you. But we saw teams come to Old Trafford last season and hurt us. There's so much space in the midfield. Like, and I don't get it. There's times when Van Dijk or Konate have got the ball on the edge of their box starting the possession phase. And all you can see is a front four of Garnacho, Bruno, Xerxes and Rashford engaging the press, and the secondary press of Mainu and Casemiro ready to engage. And then you can't see the back four. And yet the camera is showing to the halfway line. And you're just seeing all this space. I don't know what it is that we won't engage the secondary press from the defence as well. I don't know why we're not compact. We need to be compact. And we've got a sweeper keeper as well. There's just so much space to hurt our midfield. And if you're going to play like that, then you better have two midfield animals who are so fit and so on it, because the legs just aren't there to play that. Really, really not. Apparently, Toby Collier might be coming on. Look, on a positive, there isn't a positive, but on a positive, I would say that De Ligt looked really good. Delo and Mazraoui looked really good. But they've conceded 2 goals because you're going to always struggle to pick up the men when it's really difficult to mark people when Liverpool are coming at you with 4 or 5 options. And where we've lost the ball on both the goals, it's really hard to defend because Casemiro took the whole midfield out and Mazraoui was ahead of the ball. So if you're De Ligt and Martinez, you're like, fuck, we're gonna need luck here. We're gonna need a bad finish or a bad cross because you can't mark everybody. Like you're in trouble. Liverpool have won the ball back and everyone's out of position. Which is why Rodri is the best holding midfielder in the world. If you take an average holding midfielder in the Premier League, let's say Alexis McAllister, he'll probably play 55 passes per game. Rodri will play about 95. It's inhuman how many passes he plays. So Rodri will play nearly double really good holding midfielders' passes. But then he'll have a 95% pass accuracy as well. You've got to control the ball as a 6. Your job, Michael Carrick will tell you this, Roy Keane will tell you this, Rodri will tell you this. And number 6 is the conductor, he's the organiser, and he cannot, under no circumstances, give the ball away cheaply. You'd be better off having the most boring number 6 in the world, who every time he gets it, plays it 5 yards sideways, because they will never give the ball away. David Batty, someone like that. But Casemiro, for some reason, is trying to play worldy passes that take everyone out of the game. Let me just catch up on some of your comments. Emil says, I can see why Xerxes was brought in. He's a good passer and good in the build-up, but he drifts too far away. Tyrus, welcome to Members Club. Slot avoiding post-Ferguson slump, says Say. I hope Casemiro gets lost leaving and ends up in Saudi, says Thomas. Who else do we need to replace until we unlock Onana? Excited for Agate so we can focus on our horrible wingers and midfielder. Same 1.5 goals a game, says Billy. Mainu needs time. He's not physically ready. He's overworked, Bees. He's overworked. You can blame Casemiro, but the system creates a huge gap that exposes our midfield, yet he won't change it. Well, I think he is going to change it because I think Collier's coming on. Can I just say right here, right now, I'll get clipped for all stuff over the years, out of context. Whatever happens in this second half, even if this game ends up being 6 or 7-0, can we just not ever put it on this kid who's about to come on? Like, this game is lost. And he has been thrown into a game that is ridiculous for a 20-year-old to do this. We need to support him and back him no matter what happens. This is not going to be on him. I think it's the right substitution, but we've got to protect the player. Who started Casemiro, says Warren G. Is it game over and just try to avoid humiliation, says NAU? Yes. Casemiro, move Bruno to centre midfield, but Ahmad centre forward, says Zeno. Bring on Harry, says Mike B. Every ball in the middle of the pitch is being won by Liverpool. Can't even blame our defence, says Dia. It's all Ten Hag's fault, says Dominic. Second half's about to kick off here. Do you blame Ten Hag for Casemiro's mistakes? He couldn't have started with anyone else. Well, I suppose one positive is when Ten Hag buys a player, They normally have to sit on the bench. You can absolutely guarantee that the season starts against Southampton because Ugarte will start. Casemiro will not be starting for Man United against Southampton. So you can absolutely guarantee that. There's a head injury, ref. That's a head injury on Mazraoui. Do we not stop for that? I don't, if it's just me, Bruno's and Casemiro have this obsession to do Hollywood passes, says Gandos. And nothing's changed. Ten Hag sacking is inevitable, says Jeffrey. I've supported United for 40 years and that half from Casemiro is the worst I've ever seen, says Shadow. Sign Rabiot tonight, says Camia. I fear for us this season, Mark, says Glenn. When we have the ball, there are a few options to pass, says Anil. Why are we still defending on the edge of our box, says Humphrey. Well, you know what? Probably because they're scared of Casemiro's pace. Is Ugarte playing for Uruguay over the break? United need him in training after the break, says Avedon. Shocking by Anthony Taylor here not to stop the play for a head injury. Absolutely shocking. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, what he's doing there. Bring on a defender for Casemiro and put Martinez in CDM, says Tom. In pre-season, I remember that Van Nistelrooy was teaching patterns of play in the final third. In pre-season, we saw a lot of short, fast passing. Where has that gone, says Ryan. Jeff Ford, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks everyone who subscribed, by the way. We're getting very close to 930k. Casemiro has been told has been bad. He's been playing for them. Can't blame Ineos for that because we all know they needed to wait to sell McTominay, says Jeffrey. The manager's tactics are more to blame. Too much space between all our players, says Mac W. We should focus on scoring more, says Mr. Darkside. And at this rate, do you think United try and get backup CDM in January or wait till the summer to move Casemiro on? Now, how was Diaz scoring between two centre-backs and no one picking him up, says Salim. Why didn't we register Ugarte, says Glenn. Item says City and Liverpool have been playing without a DM. Last season, your manager wanted Mount over a backup. Ten Hag needs to be sacked, says Valtari. Is the number 6 on holiday? We are playing Liverpool, not a League One side, says Mohammed. Do we still endorse a manager who picks Rashford, says Callum Jones? Do we just try and build up the Ajax 2007 squad? Ten Hag is horrendous, says Callum. We knew Casemiro wasn't at his best anymore. This is just proof, says Keane. Ineos responsible, says Rune. Come on, Mark. Casemiro looked class against Fulham, says Sean G. No, he didn't. Liverpool got all the right players to play like that, says Alif. I'm fuming with Casemiro, says Jack. I can't not even get mad. I'm actually sad, says Leanders. Champions League is a pipe dream, says Harvey. Gravenberg was supreme in that first half, says Rub. And if Mainu comes off before Casemiro, the manager has to go, says Matt. Liverpool should be more up. Awful from United, says Ian. Mazraoui looks like he's getting up now. But shocking refereeing by the ref there to play on when it was a bad head injury. No rush to register Ugarte, Manchester United, says NAU. I think we're so deep because we're aware that we don't have the recovery pace for the counter, says Robert. Massive 45 minutes for Kobe now to see Collier through this game. He's on a yellow card as well, says Kazim. Manifesting a win for United. Collier scores the winner. Let's go, says Vabif. And we need to fix our midfield. And Henry says Ten Hag is sacking himself. It feels like we just need to do the match reaction now, doesn't it? It feels like it's over, but okay, hopefully he's all right. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much for that. We're only about 20 subscribers away from 930,000, by the way. Just waiting for this game to kick off again after the Mazraoui injury. Match reaction straight after this and the fan forum player ratings. Ricky's going to be on the match reaction as well with Beth and Kev. So lots to get into on that. The air of inevitability in this fan base is the saddest thing. We're not surprised, are we? We're not surprised. But this is where you need a bit of leadership. This is where you need a bit of character because we're 2-0 down and we're done. But if we can somehow scrap a goal back, maybe things can change. You're attacking the Stretford end. Too many invisible performances. Got to get after Liverpool a bit here. Well done, Collier. That's it. That's a good ball. Rashford, come on. Good. Bad pass. On his left foot. The position is that has changed him, and the most important thing is he made change during half-time. I won't blame Ten Hag much today. He picked the right teams as we can get away. If Mazraoui leaves, it's over, says Andre. Maguire and Evans warming up. We're done, says J-Dead. Is the Casemiro situation more on Ten Hag or Ineos, says Jordan. Matt Silverladder of City Stand says, I will destroy you. And no rush to register a guy. Okay, done that. It's just got to try and be a bit more patient on the ball. Keep a bit of the possession. Don't chase the game. The more we've got the ball, the more that 3 or 4 or 5-0 is impossible for Liverpool. The more we've got the ball, the more possible it is that we actually create a chance ourselves. I mean, we've inverted the low here and we've got Collier at left back, so I don't know what we're working on here, but the positive weekend getaway says that we've changed it. Oh, God. My box is going into standby. Don't want that. Xerxes got no pace, says Sands, and yet he is fast. So, what's that all about? There is a bit of a lethargy about United. Rashford into Mainu, that's a good pass. Nice little ball over the top. Collier down into Xerxes, and that's a good shot, and it's a good save by the keeper. Better. Want to see more of that. Xerxes again showing there just a bit of something. Right, Rashford, get hold of that. Oh, he's overrun it. Come on, keep it in. Let's have a look. Decentish cross. Not bad by Rashford. Puts it into the mixer. They clear it. Let's calm the game down a little bit here. Be interesting to see how Liverpool approach the game as well. Oh, bad pass by De Ligt, or was it Mainu? I think it was a bad pass by De Ligt. But we got the numbers back. We should be looking a bit. I mean, what are you thinking if you're Casemiro? By the way, we haven't said that, have we? What are you thinking if you're Casemiro? I won't take a draw here to let's not lose 5-0, says Messi. You need Ahmad to keep hold of the ball, says Chiri. Slot seems to have Ten Hag's number already, says Logic. The positive, I've done that one from Weekend Getaway. Okay. Keep the ball on the ground. Why are we pinging the ball up in the air there under no pressure? Keep the ball on the fucking ground, you see. Liverpool got it now. Here's Trent. Where's Rashford? Into Salah. Good block. Where's fucking Rashford? Why is Trent Alexander-Arnold? Why is Trent Alexander-Arnold getting a free shot on the edge of the box? Offside. Look at Rashford. That's not a sprint. It's a fucking jog. Still not back. You know what I've come to think, though, with Rashford? Ten Hag uses him as a luxury player. I don't think he has to get back. Like, I don't think his job is actually to track Trent back. And I don't think that's his fault. I don't think his job is actually to track him back. The Saudi market's still open for Casemiro, says Faisal. James says, I'll tell you what Casemiro's thinking. He's thinking, I don't give a fuck. I can't wait to get home and have a spa and check my bank on Monday. Josh says, it's amazing the difference one player makes. And it's weird how much threatening we look with Casemiro off, says Constantine. Here they come again. Oh, for God's sake. Onana's shit in goal. He is absolutely shit in goal. Why is Onana always on his fucking goal line? Close your fucking angle, mate. I mean, it's a good finish, but why is he so fucking deep all the time? Like, every shot's a goal with Onana. He's too deep. You don't defend like that. As a goalkeeper, you don't stand on your fucking goal line. He's always too deep. Just don't understand. I didn't see the build-up, but the goalkeeper should do better. Every shot's a fucking goal. Oh, let me see this back. So, De Ligt to Mainu. Look at that. It's too easy for Liverpool. Again, it's the 6. 6. It's the same as Casemiro. Yeah, Onana's positioning here is terrible, but obviously it's Mainu's at mistake. But look, watch Onana here. He goes too deep. He's nearly on his goal line. You've got to be in a better position than that there. Oh, it's 4. Fucking hell. This is gonna get, we're gonna get fucking done here. This is the end. We're gonna get absolutely slaughtered. That was straight from the kickoff. Heads are gone. It's like a bad movie. Where's the chair to hide behind again? This is gonna get, we're gonna get clapped. You're absolutely right. Mate, we've got a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old playing as the midfield for Manchester United. We are gonna get clapped. They could have scored. It's gonna be fuck it. This is gonna get silly. This is going to get silly. Davin says, Eric Ten Hag getting sacked if we lose with more than 4 goals, and it looks like we are. Luckhurst is blaming Mainu, says Michael. Well, Luckhurst is not a United fan, mate. He will not protect anybody other than himself. I wouldn't even bring that name in here because his ball knowledge is shit. Buzz Salah is going to be a menace, says Joe Wright. You need an aspirin, says the Chaz. Sorry, Mark, same as last season. Eric needs to change or get out, says Tony. Whoop Whoop says White Hammer. This one is on Mainu. Maybe it's the system, says Chiri. Collier is at least actually running. And Jackie Boy, Casemiro gets a big fat one from me. This needs to change by Christmas or believe Ten Hag has to go, but I don't want to defend him anymore, says Jackie Boy. Maybe, just maybe, Ten Hag's system is simply not good enough for the Premier League, says Necro. And we need a bit of that McTominay passion now, says Gareth. Look, looking back on the goal, all 3 goals are very, very similar. Liverpool have absolutely implemented what I could have told you they were going to implement before the season started. It's a high energy, high recovery pressing system where they go hunting the ball. And every goal they've scored against us has been absolutely playbook repeat. Mainu could have been Casemiro there. We give Mainu the ball and there's 3 players on him. And if he mistouches it or he doesn't get rid of it, the ball is won and then you pounce. And that's exactly what they've done 3 times. Collier looks knackered already. He's got to make another change here. He's got to get another body on because their heads are like a fucking... They're hitting the ground here. And there's still a long way to go. Get Rashford off. 100% take him off. There's no point. I don't think he's even bothered. Great tackle, Collier. Right, come on, Marcus. Show us something. Collier's actually been probably our best attacking player, and he's only been on 10 minutes. Daniel says it's hard to change it when you don't have a decent 6. Mainu, Collier. No, he's not going to give a foul for that, unfortunately. Collier should be getting a shout. So disappointing. I wonder what Eric's excuses will be post-match. He wants respect. He needs to start winning, says Bounty Hunter. This isn't an overreaction. I've seen enough. He's had multiple chances. International break. We need to get a new manager, says Sean. If we see 4, 5 or 6, for sure, Ten Hag gets the sack, says Constantine. Bruno needs to do his job here and calm things down, says Harry Maguire. So disappointing, says Bounty Hunter. How can he change it? We don't have a decent 6, says Daniel. No one can blame Casemiro for shocking that's shocking. People blaming Ten Hag, but realistically it's Casemiro, says Alfie. Has Onana ever made a save, says Shahin. It's disgraceful to turn off the TV to save my sanity, says Hasha. Onana couldn't stop a beach ball, says Mikey. And Ten Hag sacked in the morning, says Zebedee. Look, my frustration with Onana on the 3rd goal is actually probably a little bit unfair. But my point is he never ever makes a fucking save either. And I suppose that's because we've had 10 years of a goalkeeper that was capable of probably saving 2 of those goals with worldies. Onana never makes fucking worldies. He's just a standard goalkeeper when it comes to goalkeeping. But the good part about Onana is meant to be his passing out from the back, which we never really utilise. But as an actual shot stopper, he's pretty average. And therefore, it just feels like every shot goes in because I would expect... I think De Gea might have saved that Salah one. I think it was savable for a good goalkeeper, but he is not a good shot stopper. But the goal is not his fault. It comes from Mount losing the ball. Mainly losing the ball. Derek and Cameron, thank you very much. And people want Ten Hag to stay. Sorry, but the shape and structure is for him to sort and he's not doing it. Attack is non-existent, says Sean. Toothless attack is causing the real problem, says Pizza. And they're targeting our left-hand side, says Faisal. Well, I don't even know what the goal scorers are in this game. Salah has got a goal. Diaz has got 2. And Salah's got 2 assists. Can't wait for the ball. Been Ten Hag in this whole time, but he's making it very difficult. Casemiro should also never play for us again, says Lance. When will this nightmare stop? It's like Groundhog Day, season after season. This false 9 system is crap, says Jordan. And is Bruno with the cross. Loads of time for Rashford. Collier on the overlap. No, fucking give it Collier. Go on, Xerxes. Oh, he's got to score that. 6 yards out. He's got to score. He's got to score that. Good cross by Rashford. Best chance of the game. He's got to score. Harry says, I love Ten Hag, but he's got to go, please, for the better. No more excuses. Ten Hag has got to go. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to be very intrigued by your player rating scores because I don't know. I don't know what you do in a situation like this. I mean, Garnacho losing the ball there, I've barely noticed him. I mean, again, I'm not going to say that Marcus Rashford's had a good game, but they're in again. De Ligt's made the foul, but they've got a 3v2. This will be a goal. De Ligt will get booked. Right, come on, Rashford. Drive at him. Come on, bit of urgency. He's going to book De Ligt. Incoming rude, says Luke. Rashford off for Ahmad. Garnacho over to the left and Ahmad on the right might change things, says P. And this just isn't about Casemiro or Onana. We don't create anything, says Tim. Yeah, the most yellow card you'll ever see there from De Ligt. I can't say that that's not a yellow card. Teams love playing us. We're a laughing stock, says Jay Harris. 4-2-4 isn't working at all. I'm at a loss. It's a chore to watch. Last season wasn't a fluke. We're crap, says Alex. Just watched the documentary on the 99 season. I'm now watching this. What happened to United, says Alistair. There is still half an hour to go here. I'm going to message Mrs. Goldbridge. We're going to the pub. The Mayor of Manchester, Sir Gary Neville, will love this, says Dave. Luke says, if you want to sack the manager, who do you go for? Ruud van Nistelrooy will be the replacement, mate. It's obvious. But look, honestly, I'm not worried. You know, I throw enough bloody darts at people and say, you know, talk shit and Neville and all that lot. So by all means, I wanted this manager to stay. I'm not gonna change my mind. I wanted the manager to stay. I fought for the manager to stay, and the reason I fought for him to stay was to find out what it was all about. I said that at the time. It was all about year 3. What's this all about? Give him proper support, proper backing. He's won 2 trophies in 2 years. No manager's done that since Sir Alex. You've got to give him a year 3. He deserves a year 3. And if he fucks up in year 3, he'll get sacked. I don't think it's anything to do with I told you so. I can't be doing with that. I told you so. For me, it's about giving him the year 3. And if he wipes his arse with it, goodbye. Look, nobody thought, could have been 4 there. Nobody thought at the start of year 3 for Ollie or Mourinho they'd be gone by Christmas. A lot of people think Ten Hag will be gone by Christmas. Ten Hag isn't seeing Christmas, says Sean. End of the season now, same old crap, says Johan. Rashford lost his pace. Luis Diaz is 27, says Avi. Slot has the balls to bench Nunez. Ten Hag can't bench Rashford. Slot has masterclass Ten Hag, very predictable, says Alberto. 4-2-4 was the system that got Ollie sacked, says David. Matthias de Ligt, the Flying Dutchman, says Danny on the gas. We might get better use of Onana's passing range with Agate in front of the defence, says Keith. Look, if you want to find positives, I don't think many people would be surprised that Liverpool could have turned up and destroyed us here. I don't think many people would have thought that wasn't impossible. Also, Spurs and Chelsea have both got 4 points, and we've got 3 points even if we lose. So there is still a way back in the race for top 4, because the only team that's making a fist of top 4 at the moment with 7 points is Newcastle. So it's still very early days, and you can start the season away to Southampton with Agate in the midfield. But it's a very, very bad start to the season to lose 2 from your first 3, especially when 2 of those games are at home, because it is. You could be hiding behind your chair again, says Sam. Come on, Garnacho. Why is Ahmad still out, says Faisal. 67 minutes and he still won't make any changes in the attack. Maguire's coming on. For de Ligt. This man's fucking toast, mate. Garnacho for Ahmad. He's sacking himself. He's sacking himself, mate. He's absolutely sacking himself. How the fuck do you take Garnacho off for Ahmad and keep Rashford on again? How do you do that? What has Rashford done? And I'm not saying Garnacho's done anything, but what the fuck has he done? And why have you brought Maguire on for de Ligt? Because de Ligt's on a yellow card. Kobe Mainoo's been on a yellow card all game. I just don't understand what he's doing. I'm sorry, I am not going to swallow he's took de Ligt off because he's on a yellow card. Kobe Mainoo's been on a yellow card for about a fucking hour. The guy's fucking mad. I don't know what I don't know what he's doing at the moment. I really don't know what he's sacking himself. I'm not sacking him. I'm not going to say Ten Hag out. I said give him year 3. So I'm not going to sack him. I'm not going to say Ten Hag out. But as I said last week, he's sacking himself. Have you got any hope that we're going to turn this into a better scoreline now based on those 2 substitutions? Why is he still on the pitch? I mean, Rashford takes Trent on. It's a piece of piss for Trent, and they've won the ball back. Fucking hell, mate. It's so disappointing. How is that guy who was fucking shit? Alan Shearer tore him a new one. Tore him a new one against Brighton, saying he was absolutely crap. And he's on the pitch for 70 minutes again. That's Garnacho's first start of the season. And after 70 minutes, get off. Get off. You've had your chance. There's a guy there playing his third start of the season. It's got to be something in his contract, says Brian. No way Garnacho out and Rashford still in. Sack him, says Faisal. That's it. I'm Ten Hag out, says Luke. Bet Ten Hag says he has a knock, says Rock. He's out of his depth, says Sean. Something has to be in his contract, says Xander. There's definitely something in his contract. No way Garnacho out and Rashford still in. Sack him, says Faisal. It's going to be a long international break, says Life with Goldbridge. How much worse must Rashford play for Ten Hag to bench him? The manager's going to sack himself, says Clayton. Old Trafford booing taking Garnacho off, says Dennis. There is no way he's doing that, like, what the fuck, says Nazar. The boos for that sub say it all. Lost the faith. No, just wide by Martinez. I tell you what. I feel that there should be no element of guilt for wanting a manager to have a third year when he's won 2 trophies in a row, but there should definitely be an element of betrayal. I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed. I just feel like I don't know what this fucking manager's doing. I don't get what he's doing. I mean, why is Harry Maguire back on the fucking pitch playing for Man United? With 20 minutes to go? What's that substitution all about? Why have you even done that? But more importantly, the Rashford thing is just disgusting at this point. I don't think it's even fair on Rashford. He will know. Do you think he doesn't know when the crowd are booing Garnacho being subbed off that actually it's because they want him off? Eric Ten Hag on trial till Christmas. Who will he blame post-match, says Kiffel. Every manager we've had always plays Rashford and I don't get it, says Nick. The mayor of Manchester on the left wing handicaps us tactically in and out of possession, says Avi. It's still going to wait and see in November, says Alan Noonan. On the bright side, I'll find authentic United jerseys for like $25, says Kevin. As much as I hate to say it, I preferred watching football under Ollie, says Ben. Gary Neville didn't have the guts to take Rashford's name when the crowd booed at the sub. Top 4 is gone, let's be honest with ourselves. Well, I don't think it is gone, Red Devil. I think you're fighting from a... We lost our first 2 games 2 years ago and we finished 3rd. You can definitely come back, but what you can't do is to come back, you've got to beat teams. Gaz says, have you ever considered he wants to be sacked after how they treated him and he gets a big payoff? James says, I've just spotted Big Sam. Jeffrey Johnson says, that's it. Ten Hag is ending himself. He's an absolute idiot. We need a strong manager, says Jeffrey. Bring Anthony on for Trashford. I'm done with this, says Eric. I forgot we've got Anthony. Why would you not bring Anthony on? Lissandro on a yellow as well and has been miles behind Delit this game, so that can't be the reason, surely, says Badger. Yeah, agree. Yeah, you make good. Should I cancel my Ten Hag book order now, says Jay Dead? Just get my book instead. Rashford's going to sack another manager, says the Wheelbarrow. We needed Rangnick to stay to finish the surgery and take the fallout and Ten Hag to come in afterwards. There's history, bad blood in that dressing room, says Ryan Duffy. On the bright side, your son will be happy, says Royal, that Maguire's on. And backed him to stay, but he's toast, says Alligator. When he's sacked, he can take on Onana and Rashford with him. And should have heard crowd reaction to those subs. They're not happy, says Dean. He sacked himself. He's done, says Sean. I think when the crowd are booing subs like that, he's done. A big mistake there. Ajax football style cannot work here. No easy games in the Prem, says Hashim. Don't be surprised when Garnacho's wearing a Madrid shirt in the next few years and we still got a 30-year-old Rashford on the ring, says York. Martin says, Ten Hag is done. He still hasn't realised how shite we are and still tries to go toe-to-toe with the best teams. That's from Martin. Jim says, at this rate, Ten Hag won't even last till Christmas. Got some tough away games in September and October. Rude in the wings, says Jim. You scapegoated Mourinho. Will you back Ten Hag, says Daniel. You don't know anything, Daniel. Don't try and tell me what I did just because it suits you. I stuck with Mourinho and Ollie later than most people did. I didn't even go Mourinho out until halfway through October, and he got sacked in December. So I didn't scapegoat Mourinho at all. And actually, for the last few years, I've said sacking Mourinho was a mistake. Third season and no pattern of play, says Adnan. And he's sacking himself, says Devi. He hasn't learned from all his mistakes and hasn't learned the Premier League. Southgate coming, Rashford and Maguire will start, says Mario. Yeah, we'll be very careful about that. Might not be rude. It might be fucking Southgate. Could be rude by Christmas, says Tom. Is this the rebuild, says Sergio. Onana, Maguire, Rashford. We backed the wrong manager, says Parker. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Here's Rashford. And Xerxes misses another chance on the back post. The biggest thing is I just don't believe in him anymore. I want to see what he's doing, but I just can't understand that philosophy, says Robert. This is a good ball in by Rashford. You can't argue with that. Look. It's the right area. It's a lovely cross. You know, if that's Garnacho, you're saying what a good cross. It's a good cross. It's a bad miss. 77 minutes. I'm fuming. I'm just trying to stay calm. I don't know why. I'm absolutely fuming. Well, I know why I'm fuming, but I'm trying to just stay a bit calm on this because here we go. 4. Great tackle, Mazraoui. Thank God for that. Could have been 4. Here's Rashford. I suppose the interesting question is when you bring Agate back, maybe you... I mean, I'll be stunned if we don't beat Southampton. If he loses to Southampton, he'll definitely get the sack. That's our next game away from home, straight after the international break. But if you bring Agate in, is he really going to catapult this team up into greatness? Oh, good play by Ahmad. Corner. I don't know whether one player actually changes it. Ahmad's been good since he came on. Feel like we're a social experiment, says Luke. How can we go through all these managers, some with the experience they have, and they make these stupid decisions? So that was from Luke. The Ranić Ten Hag podcast is going to be amazing in 5 years after the NDA expires, says Michael. Rashford's created more than anyone else today, says Og. Mate, he's fucking shit. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I've just literally quote tweeted Rashford's PR account. Like, mate, he's put 2 good crosses into the box. He's been shit for 18 months. We see it. Look at what Ahmad's done in 10 minutes. So we're paying Rashford, what, 350k a week to play shit for 18 months and then put 2 good crosses in. I mean, seriously, come on. There's supporting Man United and then there's just backing a player. And I get that you back the player and you've probably got pictures on the wall and you really like him. And I like Rashford, but fucking hell, mate. 2 good crosses in 3 games at the start of this season when he's starting ahead of 2 better players. This is why we fucking failed. We're losing 3-0 at Old Trafford to our biggest rival and you're coming in here saying he's put 2 crosses in the box. I mean, he has put 2 good crosses in the box. I'll admit it. But it's 2 good crosses in 81 minutes. What we're paying 300 grand a week for. Look at what Mo fucking Salah's done in 80 minutes. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists. Or 2 assists and 1 goal. And you're talking about 2 crosses into the box. He's not had a shot in 3 games, mate. It's baffling how Ten Hag keeps him on the pitch for 90 fucking minutes again. And I'm tired of it. And I don't actually massively blame Rashford. It's not his fault. He's not picking himself. But, you know, he has put 2 good crosses in the box. There's no denying that. But 2 good crosses in 3 games. And it's Garnacho who comes off again after 70 minutes. Anthony's not even given any minutes. I mean, what are we? Are we Manchester United or are we let's keep playing this player because he might get upset if he gets dropped and you know, Ten Hag's fucking obsessed with him? I don't blame Rashford. I blame the fucking manager. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable that he's only made 1 attacking change at 3-0 down against Liverpool at Old Trafford for the last half an hour. Unbelievable. Unbelievable favouritism. Again. You know, I can't take Bruno off. I can't take Rashford off. I won't take Martinez off. Like, it's, you know, Martinez is on a yellow card as is De Ligt, and he takes De Ligt off for Harry Maguire. I'm so frustrated about it. And I'm sorry if people get offended by it and they want to call it toxic. But I tell you what, I don't think you're going to get many fucking retweets today when you've got a United fan not fucking happy about getting obliterated at home by our biggest rival again. And you want to talk to me about 2 fucking crosses into the box. Come on. How many points do we get for that then? It's fucking ridiculous. I'm tired of it. Absolutely tired of it. Richard's gifted 10 memberships. Sack that stubborn bold man now, says Jeffrey. The worst thing I can say is nothing's changed. Set piece coach, no improvement. New coaches, no change. We're stagnating. And Garnacho will go to Madrid, says Jake. Stephen's had enough of Rashford. I don't think it's really on Rashford. He can't sub himself, mate. Will he start Casemiro against Southampton? I mean, I think that is one positive. We will see Ugarte straight in the team. It's Science, gifted 5 memberships. Eric Ten Hag is a good manager, but United need a great one. Is Rashford untouchable, not getting benched? There's too many players that don't deserve the game time. Eric Ten Hag gone before Christmas, says Stevie J. This is why Sancho was pissed, says the Duke. Don't bring that fucking... Don't bring him into any justification here. You might stick up for Sancho falling out for Ten Hag, but Sancho never gave a shit about this football club. Don't start on that. Interesting thought experiment. If you had to make multiple best 11 teams from United players, I don't think Rashford would make until around the 7th team, says Kevin. Trey's actually at the match. Makes sense, says Chris. And the idea that a CDM will change this is wild, says Ahmed. Is there an 8 p.m. show tonight? I don't think so, King Shah, because we've got my match reaction and then we've got the fan forum. So that's going to take us to pretty much 8 o'clock anyway. Wait for Ten Hag to count chances in post-match, says Wackass. We need to make 2 more signings in the midfield, says Pablo. Hi, Mark. De Ligt must be knackered. He was also on a yellow. It's his first start for us. Can't be too harsh on that choice, although protecting Signing, Garnacho's sub was ridiculous. Rashford has really had a dreadful game, bar the crosses. Says Kyle. Oh, we're bringing on Ericsson for Xerxes. Yeah, it makes loads of sense, doesn't it? Sack Ten Hag for Goldbridge, says Jimmy. I just think I'm going to keep the title the same as last week for this. I don't think I'm going to change it. I called it a Ten Hag disaster class, and I'm going to call it that again. No, I'm not. I'm going to change it. I'm going to call it disgrace, because that's what it is. It's a disgrace when you get fucking humbled at home. We should never get used to this. Never get used to this. There are no positives. We should never, ever get used to being fucking humiliated in our own manner by our biggest rival. And that's what we're talking about here. Pure and simple. Absolutely fucking shocking. I can't believe we've got people out there talking about 2 fucking crosses in the box as well. Who do you support, Man United or that individual player? Fucking hell. Have you never thought there might be some correlation between picking certain players every week and United being fucking shit? Sometimes you can lead people to water, but they don't want to fucking drink. Let's keep picking them then. Let's keep picking these shit players and then see what happens. Player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Links in the description for it, and it's also in the description for the match reaction as well. We signed players in the summer to strengthen our team, and Liverpool come to us with the same team as last season. Yeah, but that team, it's Mark. Come on, what does that mean? Liverpool's team last season was very, very good. Why do you need to change it? Nicholas says, I love and respect you, but what does the manager have to do for you to say he needs to go? Mate, I'm sorry. I think he's sacking himself, but I'm not going to say sack the manager after 3 games. I genuinely think he's sacking himself, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone. But I'm not saying Ten Hag out after 3 games into a new season. I'm just not going to do that. I'm fuming, but yeah, I just don't think that happens. How has Collier played, says Ian? Well, he's played better than Casemiro. Already sapped the new season excitement, says Faisal. Could be 4. International break couldn't come fast enough, says... oh, fuck it. He'd got beat again then, Onana. International break couldn't come fast enough, says Taylor. Why did we buy Onana? He's not good at anything, says Sank. Ollie, Ranić and Ten Hag have picked Rashford until they've been sacked. If you believe Rashford doesn't have something very sinister in his contract, you're delusional. Opinions can be incorrect, says Maxi. Bruno is worse and Moans calls that out, says Jiggity. Mate, we've got a player rating show. I don't think Bruno's getting any higher than a 5. If Ten Hag was to go, who would you want to be in charge? Well, not fucking Southgate, mate. How are the Super 6 people doing? I've not heard. I don't know. I don't think anybody had the 3-0. Sack that. We signed. We've done that. Can you see Rashford ever leaving United, says Person? I think it would be helpful if he did. Genuinely, I think it would have been good for him in the summer. I think it would be good for us. I think there's a lot of damage been done. I don't think there's a lot of trust there anymore. But Jay says you owe Ten Hag out as an apology. I don't owe anybody an apology. I don't owe anybody. Nobody owes anybody an apology. And I tell you what, people. I tell you what, I told you so can do. I told you so can go fuck off, because you're not. You didn't tell us anything. You wanted to sack him in May. It is now September. I do not regret saying they should keep this manager, because we just won the FA Cup and I wanted to see what year 3 was all about. And we could still turn this around. I still don't think you can judge him until you've let Ugarte play a match, because at the end of the day, it was probably our most important signing and he's not used him yet. So you've still got... I don't get where the sacking Ten Hag stuff comes from tonight, unless it's from the Ten Hag out crew that was there in May, because why would you sack him before you've given him a chance with Ugarte, which should have been here before the start of the season? But I also said, give him year 3, and if it goes wrong, sack him. But I don't regret that, because the alternative I don't think would have been any better. Rabiot and Amrabat were obvious signings, says Keel. Rashford's put a cross in, so everything's okay, says Cade. Don't forget Garnacho can't play his best position because of Rashford, says Ali. Exactly. I've always been Ten Hag in, but if he picks Rashford in the same players after the international break, that'll be the last... Oh, mate, Rashford's never getting dropped, Cole. He put 2 good crosses in, so he'll play now. Got out of work at 6 a.m. Here in the States and stayed up to watch this shit show, says Omar. We have more yellow cards this match than we have goals this season. Can we start cutting players' wages until they improve, says Girls. And Rashford must be in bed with Ten Hag, says Ozzy. This highlights an Ineos oversight in not bringing in Ugarte sooner, says Blake. Also, Ahmad is the best right winger. It should always be a Rashford-Garnacho choice. We will have a minute. We'll get, apparently, if no more goals go in, there will be a £1 million winner in the Super Six. How nervous must that person be now? So somebody has predicted all 6 from the Super Six. If you predicted Man United were going to get beat 3-0 by Liverpool, I imagine a few people did, actually. I went 2-0, 2-1 to United. Don't forget to get your player ratings in. We're on that straight after this. Then we've got the fan forum. I think Man City have let Man United win the FA Cup so that they renewed the contact with Ten Hag, says Philip. Can't wait to see Ugarte, Mainu and Bruno midfield, says Fandy. Marcus will be the biggest mistake for the club. We need best in class. Why is he unsellable? Nobody wants him, Abhijit. Like, I don't know whether they would have sold him in the summer, but nobody inquired. You can't sell Casemiro because nobody wants him. You can't sell Rashford if nobody wants him. You can't sell Maguire if nobody wants him. People talk about selling Luke Shaw because he's injury prone. No one's going to fucking buy him. They're not thick. 2 more players in the midfield. We need Martinez there. He has the character and can control the game, says Ryan. Well, thanks everyone who's got involved with the channel today. Make sure you subscribe. Still lots more content to come. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. And don't forget the match reactions coming in thick and fast. We've only got 60 seconds left. And to be honest with you, half-time it was 2-0. I think 3-0. It could have been 4 or 5. It still could be 4. Good tackle, Mark Maguire there on Nunez. You'd probably take 3-0 at half-time, to be honest. Because I never thought there was a way back. And really, this could have been a humiliation. Well, it is. I mean, I apologise. This is a humiliation. It could have been bigger. It's always a... humiliating even if you lose 1-0. United or Arsenal lockdown vibes with these problems. Clayton says Rashford didn't go to the Euros. He's had the whole summer off to reflect and work on himself, and he's had a pre-season, and this is what we get. 2 crosses, Clayton. I've no words. I think Ten Hag may have to go, says Ash. Opinion on the pointless international break, Mark, says Tom. I hate it. I can't believe we didn't sign Amrabat. Would have started over Casemiro, says Tomo. This squad is enough to give Liverpool a game, says Iman. United or Arsenal lockdown vibes. That was from George. It's been a poor start to the season for sure. Jordan says it's been a poor start to the season, but yet again, the squad has clear gaps. We've been better than last season. We need to not overreact, says Jordan. If you take the table from last season, how far down do you have to be before Rashford starts? I got to Bournemouth 12th. Mark, who do you think our main problem is, says Mason. Well, we'll talk about all that in the player ratings. I certainly don't think fucking 2 crosses into the box from Sir Marcus Rashford is enough for us to start fucking saying he should be starting for United, but he's also not the biggest problem today. Casemiro in the midfield caused us problems. Ten Hag caused us problems. I don't think Marcus Rashford is the reason we've lost to Liverpool. I think it's very, very unfair to say that. But I think the favouritism around selections is a huge fucking problem, and it does need calling out. I did a video last night where we said we need to start calling stuff out and stop sweeping it under the carpet because we think it's, not right to do it. Fuck off. We've just been beaten by Liverpool 3-0. It needs fucking calling out because every little problem adds to problems when a team like Liverpool is so efficient and well run and you've got this guy clapping the fans. I feel like going, shove your claps up your arse. Like, you pick shit players and don't sub them off. Anyway, match reaction. I'll see you there in a minute.